Welcome to Blue Redding Explode on YouTube, and today we're going to be discussing how to properly transplant a fig tree. The fig tree you see right here was taken off of an existing tree, not from seed, and that tree was about 60 years old. This tree right here stands at about a year old, not quite a year yet, and all I did is I cut a tip off of the old tree. I planted it in the ground, put a little cup over it, and after about 3 days I noticed there was a little bud on it, and in 4 days we already had leaves starting to grow. So you want it to stay in a partly sunny environment, and you don't want to fertilize it. You want it to stay in relatively weak soil, low nitrogen content. Now, because this tree is loaded with a lot of new growth cells, and its hormones are set so that it wants to grow really fast, I went ahead and I topped it so that it can bush out, and what you see here is the result of that. This tree has bushed out properly and should start producing fruit hopefully next year. Now if we take a closer look at the tree, you'll see that I cut the tip off this one, and I put wax over the top because I ran out of prune seal a while ago. You see that wax? And that wax sealed it up so it won't rot. What did I do with that cutting, you might ask? Well, let's take a look at it. About a week ago, this cutting didn't have any growth on it, and now we're looking at what you're about to see here. I got a little white rock posted behind it for reflection. However, as you can see here, I didn't even have to use a cup to keep moisture in this cutting. This cutting took off all by itself, and it's doing fantastic. Now, what you'll see about the soil here that might be interesting to you is that it's a sandy soil, and it's rich in organic compost. If I were to dig into this soil, you'll notice that the organic compost only consists of about an inch of the surface of the soil. This pot stands roughly 1.5 feet tall, and the rest of the soil beneath the organic matter surface layer is basically just sand with a little bit of dirt in it. A few rocks as well for drainage. The reason why I put organic material on the top is to retain the moisture of the soil. These trees right here love moisture right below the surface. They're not too concerned about going deep because their root systems aren't that good. What you want for a fig tree is a highly aerated soil. These plants don't do well in clay dominant soil or nitrogen dominant soil. Nitrogen. It doesn't help the root at all, and these roots are very weak. So one thing you should note is the organic material again. The compost here. Do not put more than 2 inches of compost on your surface layer. Why? Because there is too much nitrogen in that soil. And what these trees really need is basically nothing except a slight moisture content and, well, I'm trying to think of some things not to do here. You don't want to fertilize your tree. You don't want to plant it in clay. You don't want it to be in direct sunlight. And what else? I don't know. It's just a little bit amazing here how you can take a cutting off of these fig trees and they grow so fast. I mean, this is young. It's only standing about an inch tall. However, you just see how healthy that is. That's going to produce a lot of fruit and save a lot of money. So I hope I taught you guys something. If you don't have prune seal, go ahead and get a candle, melt some wax onto your tree after you cut it, and plant that cutting directly in the soil if it already has foliage on it. I wouldn't be concerned about placing a cup over the top of it, because you're not going to be placing this in direct sunlight. As a matter of fact, until it's a year old, I suggest leaving it in almost no sunlight at all under a tree or something, so that it can establish a good root system and grow slow and strong. Once it reaches a year of age, I would suggest taking it to partial sun, part sun, and letting it do what it does, grow. I mean, these plants grow at an amazing rate of speed, and I'm definitely satisfied with this type of fruit tree. It's done me well. If you take a look out there, let's zoom in a little bit. You can see I have one on the left side that's huge, and there's a pear tree there, and another pear tree behind the aquarium that are doing awesome. So these are my first fig trees, and that's how I transplanted them. Hopefully it'll work for you guys too. Alright, take care.